Everything you think you know about creatine energy is actually wrong, and the real story is stranger. Most people believe creatine simply gives you energy, like gasoline poured directly into a waiting engine. That belief is technically false, and the truth is far more fascinating than anyone ever bothered explaining. Creatine does not create energy at all. It only moves energy to where your body needs it most. Think of your body as a massive city, and creatine as the electrical grid connecting every single building. Your mitochondria are the power plants constantly generating energy, but they cannot deliver it alone. Without creatine acting as the delivery system, that energy would stay trapped exactly where it was made. Here's the shocking part scientists rarely explain clearly. Creatine moves faster through your cells than ATP itself. Creatine phosphate travels nearly 8 times faster than ATP through the watery environment inside every cell. That speed difference is the entire reason creatine matters this much to human performance. Picture a muscle fiber contracting explosively, desperately needing energy delivered within milliseconds, not minutes. The ATP molecule stays locked onto the muscle protein, unable to travel anywhere at all. Creatine rushes toward the mitochondria instead, grabs a phosphate, and races straight back. It delivers that phosphate directly to the waiting ADP, completing the entire energy transaction instantly. This lightning-fast shuttle system is happening constantly in every single cell throughout your body. Now here's where things get genuinely wild, because red blood cells reveal something remarkable about creatine's purpose. Red blood cells contain no mitochondria whatsoever, and interestingly, they also lack any creatine kinase enzyme. That absence proves creatine's entire existence depends completely on mitochondrial energy production happening somewhere nearby. Wherever mitochondria are working hardest, creatine becomes absolutely essential for spreading that energy properly. This explains why neurons, incredibly long cells stretching throughout your entire nervous system, depend heavily on creatine. Some neuron mitochondria even work backwards, generating gradients instead of producing energy like normal cells. Scientists still don't fully understand this reversed process, but creatine likely shuttles energy between these systems. Your gut tissue tells an equally compelling story about why creatine matters more than expected. Intestinal cells lining your gut die every 3 to 4 days, requiring constant, expensive cellular replacement. Building brand new cells that frequently demands enormous amounts of energy, delivered precisely without any delay whatsoever. Add in the sodium gradients your gut needs just to absorb nutrients properly. Every mineral, vitamin, and nutrient you absorb requires energy spent pumping sodium across cellular membranes. Without efficient energy distribution, your gut becomes vulnerable to something called cellular hypoxia quickly. This is precisely why gut motility matters so much for preventing energy deficits inside intestinal tissue. When digestion slows dramatically, oxygen depletion inside gut tissue increases, creating serious risk for dysfunction. Now let's talk about dosing, because everything you've been told is dangerously oversimplified for real people. Standard advice says take 20 grams daily for 5 days, then drop to 5. That protocol exists purely because scientists only studied how loading affects muscle creatine stores specifically. Nobody actually knows what that loading dose does to creatine throughout your entire body. Some people thrive taking 8 grams daily, while others need drastically different amounts entirely. One researcher discovered his own optimal sleep benefit appeared precisely at 8 grams per day. Beyond that dose, additional creatine provided absolutely zero additional improvement to his measured sleep quality. Meanwhile, other people cannot tolerate even 3 grams without experiencing uncomfortable digestive side effects immediately. Surprisingly, some people found tremendous benefit using microdoses, as small as 100 milligrams daily. This proves something crucial that most supplement companies never bother mentioning to customers honestly. Your optimal creatine dose has almost nothing to do with generic population averages whatsoever. Instead, you must experiment personally, tracking specific metrics that genuinely matter for your own life. Maybe you're tracking sleep quality, physical strength, mental clarity, or simply daily energy levels. Start with 3 grams daily, then patiently wait for any noticeable effects to stabilize completely. Once stabilized, increase your dose gradually by just 1 gram, watching your tracked metrics closely. Continue this process until you discover your personal point of maximum measurable benefit exists. This individualized approach matters more than any generic advice pulled from supplement marketing materials. Here's something genuinely unexpected that challenges common assumptions about instant energy boosts from supplements. Last year, researchers gave sleep-deprived participants 20 grams of creatine during one single overnight session. Remarkably, that single dose improved cognitive performance and reduced complaints of exhaustion significantly compared to placebo. This raises a fascinating question nobody has properly answered yet within scientific research circles. Does someone who already takes 8 grams daily experience identical benefits during acute sleep deprivation nights? Nobody actually knows because that specific comparison has never been properly tested scientifically yet. This matters because your muscles absorb creatine first, potentially leaving your brain shortchanged during loading phases. If your muscles aren't fully saturated already, they'll claim most of any new dose immediately. Your brain might receive only a small fraction of whatever creatine dose you're actually taking. This explains why beginners notice dramatic effects from loading, while experienced users notice comparatively little change. Let's address something people whisper about privately but rarely discuss openly regarding supplement dependency risks. Could taking creatine long-term actually suppress your body's natural ability to produce it internally? This concern makes logical sense considering how certain hormones create dependency after prolonged external supplementation use. However, creatine functions completely differently, acting as raw material rather than a signaling molecule entirely. Signaling molecules like hormones train your body to reduce natural production after sustained artificial supplementation. Raw materials like creatine, glutathione, and CoQ10 simply don't create that same dangerous dependency pattern. Your body isn't designed to permanently shut down production of basic structural building blocks. This distinction matters enormously, yet almost nobody explains this crucial difference to everyday supplement users. Some people do experience temporary side effects when starting creatine, including unexpected sleep disruption or anxiety. This likely happens because your body suddenly reduces natural creatine synthesis, causing temporary secondary chemical imbalances. Fortunately, this appears reversible, unlike the permanent dependency risks associated with certain hormonal supplementation practices. Now let's discuss why marketing claims about creatine loading contain more self-interest than scientific honesty. Companies claiming you don't need loading phases often benefit financially from customers buying smaller doses. Meanwhile, loading phases genuinely help beginners reach saturation faster, delivering noticeable benefits within just days. Women specifically may benefit from loading protocols even more based on emerging anecdotal supplementation patterns. This creates an uncomfortable tension between profitable marketing narratives and genuinely helpful scientific dosing strategies. Here's the deeper lesson hiding within all this confusing, contradictory creatine research and marketing noise. Scientific studies aren't absolute truth. They're simply small lights illuminating tiny sections of your path. Each study represents one specific population tested under specific conditions, answering one narrow question precisely. Your personal situation almost never perfectly matches whatever narrow conditions researchers happen to study specifically. This means blindly following generic dosing guidelines ignores your unique biology, lifestyle, and individual goals completely. Instead, treat scientific research as helpful guidance, not rigid rules dictating your exact personal decisions. Combine trial parameters with careful self-experimentation, tracking metrics that genuinely reflect your most important goals. This approach respects both scientific evidence and your own unique biological individuality simultaneously and completely. Someone who's been taking 8 grams for years might respond completely differently than complete beginners. Your existing creatine status, dietary habits, and supplementation history all influence how you will respond personally. This is precisely why cookie-cutter advice fails so many people trying to optimize their supplementation strategy. The smartest approach involves eating creatine-rich foods like beef and salmon as your dietary foundation. This ensures any supplemental benefit you experience proves genuinely necessary, rather than compensating for poor nutrition. Once your diet provides solid baseline creatine, supplementation becomes a precise tool for genuine optimization. Track your sleep, strength, mental clarity, and energy levels methodically over several consistent weeks. Adjust your dose gradually, always waiting for effects to stabilize before making further careful adjustments. Eventually, you'll discover your own unique optimal dose, completely unrelated to generic population-based recommendations entirely. This personalized framework works precisely because human biology varies dramatically between different individuals and situations. What works brilliantly for one person might prove completely ineffective or even uncomfortable for another. Creatine remains one of the most extensively researched, safest, and effective supplements available today confidently. Yet its true power only emerges when you stop following generic advice and start experimenting personally. The energy grid metaphor reveals something profound about how your entire body actually functions internally. Every cell, every organ, every system depends on efficient energy distribution, not simply energy production alone. Understanding this transforms how you think about supplementation, moving beyond simplistic thinking toward genuine biological understanding. This knowledge empowers you to become your own researcher, tracking what genuinely matters for your unique life. Stop chasing whatever dose worked for someone else and start discovering what specifically works best for you. The real creatine revolution isn't about finding one perfect dose, it's about personalized, evidence-informed self-experimentation, always.